All right, how you doing out there, YouTube? Doing some kind of comparisons and similarities between a couple of the packs that I have here. So let's get into this. So on the right here, we can see the M35 Swedish rucksack. In the middle, this is a M52 mountain rucksack, or maybe it's the 10th mountain division rucksack from the US. This one was made in, was it 52 or 51? I don't remember. And then on the left we got the LK70, a Swedish one, and this one is from, this is made in the late 70s. Early 80s. Anyway, what's kind of interesting, so this rucksack is just a slightly upgraded version of the 1941 rucksack, or mountain rucksack, that the US had. Now if you take a look here, though, they've got this frame on here which borrows a lot from the Nordic nations. Take a look at that frame there versus the frame right here. So both of these are A-frames. If we take a look at this width, that's about 17 inches total width there. When we're looking at the Swedish one, we're about 16. See how they're all contoured, and they both have, like a belt there to save your back so it doesn't hit directly onto there. Both of these, actually all three of these, are canvas. But if you take a look at the Swedish one and the American one, they're somewhat close in dimensions. On the bottom, when we take a look up at the top on the openings, if I ever get this thing open, you'll see that the mouth on the Swedish one is smaller than the one on the American one. Holy smokes. Anyway, sorry, once I figure out how to edit stuff, I'll be able to cut out things like this. But that's why I don't have very many subscribers. The only thing that kind of saves me having any subscribers is I usually have some oddball stuff you don't see a lot of. So let's take a look here. Can I open this up or not? Alright. But when you take a look at this, and unfortunately I don't have a Norwegian telemark backpack, but you'll see where it seems like the US was influenced by the Nordic nations on their build, because they look somewhat similar. Take a look, three pockets out here. One somewhat large opening. The flap is here. So let's take a look at the back too on the frame. So you see how it's got this harness. The yoke on here is up there. Now obviously they're using all leather on the Swedish stuff with a steel tube frame. steel tube frame. You've got leather right up here where it attaches onto the frame, but then you see all of this heavy duty duck canvas for the strapping. There's some very close similarities on there. Sorry, let me turn this around one more time again. So let's do some quick measurements. Now the height on both of these frames is pretty much the same. I'm at 19 inches right here. I'm at 19 inches tall, and right there at the peak of that. It's a little bit different. Is it's kind of funny too, is this thing is over 80 years old and it's still intact with whatever this waterproof membrane is. That doesn't exist on here, but you do have on this one, on the lid, you do have a pocket with a zipper. Okay, yeah, this one was made in 1951, so you can see that. Let's look at this opening though. This is it's not going to give you the best measurement, obviously, but we're looking at about 11 inches, 9, 10 mouth, and then about another 12 inches wide. This isn't really completely fair, but looking about 14 wide by about 12 inches, maybe 11 if I try to square it out. I'm gonna say that the Swedish one is about 35 liters, maybe 40 max, and I'm gonna say that the US rucksack is gonna be about 50 liters approximately. What's kind of nice with this one, because it's got an oversized lid on there, you can obviously overstuff it and put things underneath with these long straps here. With this older one, you can still obviously put a few things under there. You don't have all that extra room with long straps. So let's take a look at that LK70. I've shown this in a few videos. It's just interesting to see how kind of similar it is to the US one. Obviously, if you have an Alice pack, and I do have one, I just don't want to bring it out. It looks very similar to the US one. You see how long this lid is. They do have a zipper inside of that pocket, actually 2 pockets. You got the 3 pockets outside. Then you've got the large opening, and it's fastened similar with the cordage and things like that. Obviously this newer one has an H frame on it versus the old A frame, but you can see the dimensions on this. It's 14 inches wide, and then you're going at about 25 inches tall. So obviously it's going to have a little more capacity than this older one here. And you've already seen this one, so you can go look at my old stuff. Look up LK70 if you want to see more of this thing. Anyway, that's all I really got. I'm going to look at kind of reviving this a bit. I'm going to see if I can get these brass stains out of this. I just got this from eBay. I think I'm keeping this. If I keep it, I'm gonna wash it and I'm gonna wax it. I'm I'm not sure what else I can do to revive this color on the canvas. Obviously with the old M35 I waxed this, so it really deepened up the colors and things like that, help protect it. So I think, you know, once I decide I'm going to keep this, I'm going to wax this as well, and it'll you know, be darker and things like that. But as far as comfort goes, it's somewhat comfortable. This gives you some support here, you know, so you're not hitting directly onto the frame. Up here, you know, maybe it could use a little more, maybe it could use just a little more padding up on the top. What I like about this one, you have that belt that comes on it. I don't remember if this originally, if they gave you a belt or not. I saw online that they make a belt that I could get to put there. The thing with these belts on these A-frames, typically they don't, you know, it's not for load carrying. It's just to protect you and keep it from sliding side by side. You know, with the way this frame is though, I could actually use like an Alice belt or something similar to this and put it on there if I want to try to, you know, actually load it up. I think that would really help, but it's actually somewhat comfortable even though this thing is old. That's all I've really got. If you got some kind of questions, post them on there and I will answer as soon as I can and the best that I can. You have a good one.